And on that note, welcome back finally to another episode of the Pixels and Panels podcast. I am, of course, Aaron, coming back to you after several weeks off. Apologies because I was busy. I started actually working again. It's been a little busy, but it's good to make a paycheck. So I'm glad I'm back at work, that is. But for this episode, I have a couple of panelists, one that has been on before, one that is not. And we're going to have a whole podcast today just dedicated to movies, and specifically the movies of 2018. What we are going to talk about are some movies we've seen so far in 2018 that we've enjoyed, and then we're going to talk about a few that we're anticipating this year. And then for segment 2, we have basically the elephant in the room to talk about, which is, of course, Avengers Infinity War. So that particular movie will not be talked about in this first segment. So to kick things off, we're going to introduce a returning panelist to the show, Mr. Ilya Taborowski, the Mad Russian himself.
What's up, everybody? How's everybody doing? Good to see you again. Great to be on again. How's everybody doing?
Well, everybody, I'm doing fine.
I'm doing well too, but I haven't been introed yet.
Yeah. So let me get. I don't know if Ilya is talking to the whole of the internet or if he's talking to us.
That was a rhetorical statement.
Okay.
Whole of the internet.
I think he just said hi to the internet.
Can you keep his intro a little shorter because my Vooz mobile minutes are running out?
Yeah, I'll cut that short. And now, for the first time on the show, I'd like to introduce a very special guest, Mr. Alberto Cinco de Mayo Mendez.
That's my own sound effects. We're keeping it really cheap.
All right, cool. Well, this is one of the few shows that I think Alberto could kind of be on because it's just all about movies, since he doesn't really play comics or read video games. I'm leaving that in the show. Yeah, so since Alberto doesn't really do either of those things,
it's called having a life.
Hey, my life's great. Reading comics and playing video games and occasionally working, and I have a pretty great life, I gotta say.
And your side gig as a Furby.
Well, that too. That doesn't take up that much time.
So what's up? What are we gonna? Are you gonna do this up each individually? Because I'm ready to go.
Well, if you let me kick things off, since I am kind of the host here, I'm trying to be Alberto. It's been a couple weeks. I'm out of practice, but yeah, let's just start off with some movies that we've seen so far this year that we've enjoyed. I guess we wanted to pick 3 movies. So I guess like starting from number 3, like your third favorite movie you've seen so far this year, Alberto. Why don't you kick us off?
I saw one day, I was just bored as hell, and I turned on Den of Thieves on Netflix, and I was like, all right, whatever. This my guilty pleasure is just watching these really bad movies.
Uh-huh.
And then as I started watching it, I was like, wow, this actually has a pretty good plot.
Mm-hmm.
And then I started watching it even more, and I go, "Come on, it's got 50 Cent in the freaking movie. How good could this be?"
Yeah.
But as it started unfolding and stuff, I was like, "Man, I'm not gonna put it up there with the movie Heat." But they did some pretty cool things with stylistically, and then also too like where I love movies that people kind of just want to bag on or never heard of, and I never, I thought this is one of those popcorn movies. So when I saw it, I was like pleasantly surprised.
Yeah. Now this is I've not seen this movie, and so without like spoiling the plot or anything, like this is basically just a crime caper flick, right?
Right. So yeah. So basically, it's a cat and mouse game.
Okay.
I can't think of the guy's name, but Gerard something. He was in 300.
Oh, Gerard Butler.
Yeah.
Shoot, my girlfriend will probably love that then.
Yeah, you basically, it's one of those movies where like the good guys are pretty badass and the bad guys are pretty badass as well, and you're sort of like you don't know who to root for, but very well done.
Nice.
Yeah.
Who directed that? Was there a famous director attached to that? I forget.
I don't know. In fact,
Yeah.
I,
Who else?
I,
Sorry, who else was in it besides 50 Cent?
it was 50 Cent, and then the main guy, who was actually, one of my favorite characters. He Christian Gudikest is his name, is the director.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't know what else he's done, but Pablo Schreiber, O'Shea Jackson was in it, which is 50 Cent, and
Wait, that's Curtis Jackson, right?
yeah, Curtis Jackson.
Yeah.
Yeah. My bad.
Gerard Butler's in that too.
Yeah,
So,
Pablo Schreiber is the main character's bad. He was
I've heard of him.
yeah, he's been in. I've seen him before, and stuff. So 13 Hours.
Bubble Boy.
Yeah, Bubble Boy. Yep.
Oh yeah, that guy. Yeah, I haven't seen. I actually haven't seen 13 Hours. But let's not get into that. I meant to see that.
Meta
Cool.
Williams is the female, the heroine, but it was
It was good.
Yeah, it was good, dude. I mean, I'd recommend it.
Now, I don't know if anyone else has Netflix movies on their list at all. I don't think I've seen an original Netflix movie yet. Ilya, have you seen any?
I have.
Have you seen Bright? That's the one I did not see.
I've seen an original one. Have you seen Small Crimes?
I did see. Bright.
No.
That's it. And oh my God, what's his name from The Warrior?
Well, here's I guess my query about that is I'm not trying to get into a whole thing about a whole segment about Netflix movies, but I'm just wondering if generally they're kind of getting better. I mean, I'm reading some reviews and the reviews I've read honestly haven't been generally that good. So but at the same time, I don't really trust reviewers much these days.
I think it's I have this conversation all the time with my friends. At one time, when Netflix was first trying to get on the market of original programming, they were coming out with shows like House of Cards and
Yeah.
And now I just feel like they've just bombarded their streaming with just a bunch of crap, and you just have to wade through all that muck to get to something good.
Well, I guess what I'm talking about is specifically the movie division, because I think generally, dude, a lot of the shows they've done have been at least fairly high quality. And I mean, yeah, they're putting out a shit ton of stuff, but you got a lot of people like a lot of shows on Netflix.
Yeah.
Well, actually, talking about Netflix movies, I just actually watched, and this was a couple months ago, and it technically isn't 2018, it was the end of 2017, but I watched The Outsiders, which is that Japanese Yakuza movie with Jared Leto.
Oh, The Outsider. Yeah. That was one I was thinking of too.
The Outsider was, it might not be an Academy Award-winning movie, but it was very much an enjoyable flick.
Okay.
It had its parts here and there, in the second and third act, but overall, yeah, I enjoyed watching it.
But is it really, once again, it goes back to, is it original programming or is it just distribution? Because they're just putting their names on stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I think that's more for the movies, right?
Yeah.
The shows, they're pretty much doing those those are Netflix produced shows.
No. The movie, they'll tell you which one. Well,
I saw Jim and Andy: The Great Beyond. That was by Andy Kaufman. Did you see that one?
No.
Yeah, I mean, to me, I actually saw a really good Netflix film called Small Crimes. Mm-hmm. By the way, it got I think it got 2 stars, and I was once again, it's one of those things where.
Well,
yeah.
That's why I don't trust reviewers. Is sometimes reviewers will give a movie a low score, and it's just it's all for the wrong reasons. So, I mean, I'm down to watch some of these movies, but I'd also like to just hear what some of my friends are thinking about them, because if I hear Ilya say he liked The Outsider, then I'm definitely gonna be more apt to maybe see it.
Oh.
Or if you say you like Den of Thieves, I'll probably check that out now.
I saw. Well, this is actually, I know we're doing 2018, but if you're talking about original movies, I Don't Feel at Home in This World Anymore was pretty fucking awesome.
Wait, are you saying Netflix original movie?
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
that movie was pretty awesome.
Okay. Well, all right. So that's kind of an aside about the Netflix thing. I was just kind of curious because you brought up Den of Thieves. So no one else has any more Netflix movies on their list
From this year, no.
from this year. Yeah, from your list from this
I
year.
mean, aside from Bright, I think Bright was probably the only one from this year. And
That you saw?
Outsiders that I saw that was really like on point for me, and I enjoyed watching.
Okay. Well, what was your third movie that you've seen so far this year, Elia?
You're actually gonna laugh at me. I know this, and I didn't actually want to see this movie originally because most Russian-related content that comes out into mainstream Hollywood or anything of that notion usually depicts Russians in a bad sense or blah blah blah.
And you lost me at Russian.
Right. And so usually it's the same story, just different packaging. But I actually decided to watch The Death of Stalin.
Oh.
With a cast like Buscemi and Tamborn, Simon Russell Beale. There's so many great actors. And it was a great satire on what people were thinking about once, this tyrant passes away in my country or begins to show a decline in his health, and how everybody around him tries to not only scramble to keep the country together, but at the same time has their own little motivations to try and become, the next man in power. Very funny.
What genre of? So is that a comedy?
It was a satirical comedy.
Okay. Well,
It was very enjoyable. It's only about hour 30. So it's not too long. Hour 40 maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Great jokes. I mean, these are jokes that, you could be Russian, you could be English, you could be anybody, and they're going to be hilarious, not because you're really taking the piss out of somebody, but just because generally it's a joke that can be on both sides,
Yeah.
But yeah, that was number 3 on my list. It's something I enjoyed very much, and yeah.
Cool. Well, I'm glad Russia gets somewhat of a fair rap in that one. Because I was just watching a movie recently, just as an aside, the Equalizer with Denzel.
Oh, I love that movie.
Oh, it's a great movie, and the Russians are definitely not depicted well in that movie.
And that's the other thing, that Equalizer number 2 is actually one of the movies I'm looking forward to see later on this year.
Because that's when he's going back to Russia, right?
Equalizer 2, I feel like there's a whole slew of things that happens in that one. He doesn't only take care of another Russian family. I think he takes care of a couple other bad guy organizations, so to speak.
Yeah. Okay. Well, moving on. Let's keep things going. My number 3, I'm gonna cheat really hard because I've got 3 movies that I somewhat liked, but I can't really even none of them really separate themselves from the crowd, and they're all kind of popcorn flicks. So the 3 are Pacific Rim Uprising, Black Panther, and Ready Player One, and they were all good for they had some good elements in them. Like Pacific Rim was more of, in my opinion, a good thing, which was giant robots fighting kaiju. But that movie just had a ton of flaws, including acting, the directing. I love Stephen DeKnight, the director. He's the creator of Spartacus. He did Daredevil season 1. I just felt like this was the first movie he officially directed, I believe. And I just felt like he was still learning the ropes a little bit. So not to get too deep into Pacific Rim, there was things I liked about it. It was more of the world. It had some of the same characters that I enjoyed from the first one, but it definitely did not hold a candle to the first movie. Black Panther, it was a decent Marvel movie. Definitely not as good as everyone hyped it up to be. Maybe that was part of the problem.
But I think what it is too, because I went to see that movie with you.
Yeah.
And
you liked it.
Well, I did like it, and I think what it is that what Marvel fans or comic book fans in general, it's sort of like Harry Potter fans. That they read the books. They read the books or whatever. They wear the garb, and then they're disappointed sometimes when they see a movie. Like me, I really knew nothing of Black Panther. Went in and it was a pretty good film. It wasn't.
No, I agree. Yeah, I agree. I guess my thing is like everyone was basically giving that movie a 10. Like they were calling it perfection on screen, and I just don't think it was. It was a decent Marvel movie. There was a lot of other ones I liked more. I thought it was fine. I just didn't buy into the hype of that movie. Like I kind of just took it for what it was. And then
did they have a black director?
Yeah, it was the guy who did Creed.
Yeah.
What were you saying, Elliot?
How do you know that though?
If we break that movie down based on not just a Marvel movie, but what it was, and like you said, it's a popcorn flick. Okay, this is not a movie that when it came out we were going to go Academy Award, Academy Award, Academy Award. We know what we were getting ourselves into.
Well, that's not what the reviewers were saying. They seem to think this is the most
best Marvel movie ever.
Blah 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 blah. But nobody was saying
it broke a lot of records too. I think, didn't it, in the box office?
Box office wise, but so did Avengers, and these movies will, because again they're popcorn flicks.
Yeah,
you can't hold them to to the same candle as the Pianist, or somebody give me another Academy Award movie that's come out recently. Like you just can't. They're not on the same book. But for a popcorn flick, it had.
By the way, before you finish that, Shakespeare in Love won the Academy Award. So go ahead.
Yeah, I never even saw that.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So when people say, I love it when people always say Academy Award winning film. I'm like, all the Academy Award winning films usually suck nowadays.
Oh yeah, well there's been a lot of bad Academy Award winning films.
Yeah.
Well, anyways, so when you take a movie like that and you break it down into, I don't know, the three basic things, which is you got the story, the special effects, and for some people like me, the choreography and the action scenes. I think the choreography and the action, first and foremost, was fantastic. Some of the stuff that they pulled off was phenomenal.
It wasn't as good as Raid 2.
No, it wasn't. it was okay. And Ilya, I don't
want to see action. Check out Raid 2.
Yeah. Ilya, I don't really want to do a deep dive in this. Like, I'm combining 3 movies as my third movie pick, so like we gotta move it along. But yeah, like the point is, Black Panther was fine. It just, I didn't think it was like as fantastic as everyone said, which was too bad because he's actually one of my favorite Marvel characters. And then the last one I was talking about was Ready Player One. I don't know what can be said about that movie. Like, it was fun. I enjoyed it. I don't really care to see it again. It was very like surface level for me. Definitely not one of my favorite Steven Spielberg flicks. Did you guys see that?
No.
Actually, I did see Ready Player One.
Yeah. What do you think?
But isn't it based off a book?
Yes.
Yeah, it was. What?
And there are about 3 other books that are kind of in the same genre. And I don't know, I enjoyed it in the sense of, one, as a big nerd, the amount of Easter eggs that was there,
Yeah, all the references.
Was fantastic,
But after a while, didn't it get to be too much? Wasn't it distracting?
No, I didn't find it distracting. I loved having those little moments here and there where I would, catch something out of the corner of my eye and kind of in the back of my head go, oh, that's really cool. I saw Gundam Wing Zero. Or, oh, shit, I caught Lara Croft, where, you could, like, those little moments. And I know I didn't even scratch the surface with it.
Right.
So I did enjoy that kind of.
I mean, dude, the Battletoads were in it. Like, they went really deep with the references.
Right.
I just felt like the amount of them were too distracting. Like, ultimately, like, if it was a few references, I would have chuckled and winked, but it was like every other shot. It was like, oh, there's that reference.
Me and you are too nerdy, so for us, it might have been a bit of an overload, but for the average individual, that's how much you probably would have needed to have, 3 or 4 of them be caught. Because, a lot of these people don't know what Doom is. They don't know what,
Sure.
Shit, a lot of the Millenniums don't even know what a fucking DeLorean is.
Yeah.
Right? So in that kind of situation, when you're trying to, broadly appeal that way to a lot of viewers, I understand why they did it.
Yeah. Okay. Moving on. We gotta keep it going here. Alberto, what was your second favorite movie you've seen so far? This
once again, like all these mainstream movies and stuff. Like I usually, I have Movie Pass, so now something that I wouldn't rent or watch or go to the movies for because it's like $18 a pop. I go with Movie Pass.
Right.
So one of those movies that I went to go see was Red Sparrow.
Okay.
And it's like, and it was just the critics hated the movie, but
really?
then but then once again the critics loved Get Out, which is by far one of the worst movies I've seen in my lifetime. And
Right.
so I went to go see Red Sparrow, and I'm like, wait a minute, this got some pretty badass action scenes, and I'm like, and it has what I love once again, story. Like you really have to pay attention in that movie, and that's what I love. And just when you think you figure something out, they pull the rug from you. It was really well done, well acted. Jeremy Irons is in the movie, and I think he wasn't that promoted. It was mainly just Jennifer Lawrence goes naked, but honestly that's a very small part of the movie.
Is she naked in that movie?
Oh yeah, full on, dude.
Oh damn. She's also naked in all the X-Men movies.
Yeah.
She's just covered in body makeup.
Yep.
Well, and nipple covers and one of those C strings or whatever.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I mean, you know the premise of what Red Sparrow is, right?
She's basically Black Widow, and
yeah, but
she's Marvel's
trained,
Black Widow.
right? But she's trained. I'm not ruining anything. They're trained sexually to manipulate.
Mm-hmm.
That's in the trailer, so I'm not ruining anything. So just imagine, what a country would do to get that done. You know what I mean? And so
what country is it again that's training him?
Russia?
It is Russia. Okay, that's what I thought. I was like, there really is a Black Panther or a Black Widow knockoff. But you're saying it's good, so
it was good. I check it out again.
Not only is it that, it's also a knockoff of Salt with Angelina Jolie from back in the day. Like,
yeah, no, I mean it feels like it's derivative, but you know what? So much stuff is derivative nowadays. Like if it's well done, it's about the execution. So
right, I mean it's like if you think about it, the same light as like Atomic Blonde or whatever.
Yeah,
but I thought it was way better than Atomic Blonde.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I actually saw Atomic Blonde. Not bad movie.
Yeah, was it your second favorite that you've seen in 2018?
No. Super Troopers 2.
I so want to see that.
That just came out, right?
Yes, it did. April 25th. Or no, sorry, 420. That came out on 420.
420. That's right. Yeah. So a couple weeks ago.
I gotta ask, man. Tell me it's as good as the first one.
Not as good, but it keeps like the first one. If we rate it at like a 10. This one's a 9. Like it's still up there and it's still fun, but they definitely had a lot more liberties with the jokes because it is a little dirtier and a little raunchier.
Oh, of course.
Yeah. How many years between movies was it?
Oh shoot, like 15.
15
Easily.
Years? Yeah,
probably something like that.
Yeah, that whole troupe is like they're like a comedy troupe, right? Because they did Beer Fest too, right?
Yeah, they did Beer Fest and they did a couple other movies. So
Beer Fest, nice. All right. Well, yeah, I don't think we need to do a deep dive into Super Troopers. I think you either love it or you don't really care.
Well,
God, I can't remember. Like, I can barely remember the first one. I just remember laughing at a few.
I mean, how high do you have to be to make that movie even funny?
Yeah. True.
I can imagine just tripping watching that movie.
Yeah. All right, as I'm sure Ilya was. All right, well, my second movie that I've seen that I enjoyed this year, my number 2 was I just have like fun popcorn flicks on my list, and I apologize, but that's what I've seen like in the theaters so far this year. And my number 2 was Rampage. Like Alberto, I also got Movie Pass, so I basically been going to the theater a bunch with my girlfriend and just seeing like whatever movies, like what's out, what looks kind of like fun. What would I like to see in the theater, like on a big screen? Go ahead.
How many Madea movies have you seen?
I don't.
If you're gonna spend some money that way, spend it the right way.
Hey, I'm spending Movie Pass money, so I don't really care. But no, there's some movies like, like Pacific Rim or a movie like Rampage that I want to see that in the theater because it's going to be better on the big screen with the sound booming and everything. And I got to say, honestly, like, I have no shame saying this. I freaking love Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Like, that dude is making some really, like, he's making fun, like, dumb action movies, but they, like, skirt that line between just too dumb and you're always like having a good time in those movies that I've seen lately, like Jumanji and in this one too. I mean, it's a movie about giant monsters fighting each other, and The Rock is in like the mix, and it's just, it is dumb fun. So, and like, I really enjoyed it. I had a good time.
Those are the best movies.
Yeah. I thought the effects were great. And yeah, I mean, there's really no deep commentary that you can really offer on that movie, but the Rock's like his comedic timing and what he's like bringing on screen is just like, I feel like just getting better and better. And I really feel like he's hitting the sweet spot of like who he is as an actor. So these movies are just entertaining, and you can see it reflected in the box office with what he's putting out there. So,
I mean, he's getting older too, man. How old is The Rock?
I mean, he's probably in his late 40s, but The Rock doesn't age, dude.
In his 50s, dude. Rock's getting there.
And the Rock don't age, bro.
He was born in 72, so that'd make him 46.
Yeah.
Wow.
But yeah, the Rock don't age.
He's also because his fellow WWF wrestler John Cena has been such a breakout as a comedy actor. They're actually trying to bring those two together and put on a film for next year.
Oh yeah.
I'm actually slightly excited because I actually enjoy. I can't believe I'm saying this. John Cena's comedy. I saw him in the movie with Tina
Blockers?
Fey and was it Rockers? Tina Fey and
Wait, wasn't that Cock Blockers?
Yeah.
No. Blockers was with John Cena.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Cock Blockers.
Right. But there's the one before that, one of his first ever roles, and he's actually this tattooed gangster motherfucker. He's got like tats all over his face, and it's Tina Fey and her partner in crime, that blonde chick with the big bug-eyed green eye.
Oh, is that the one where he? Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
The gangster selling them drugs. It was amazing.
Yeah.
But he's really funny, and so watching the two of them together, because they do have that whole rapport from the WWF, might be a fun thing to see, actually. Kind of intrigued.
No, listen. Here's the thing. Like, if you just have fun in the movies, The Rock is just a fun actor to watch on the screen. And, like, John Cena is also getting there. He's actually going to play Duke Nukem, believe it or not.
Oh, snap.
Yeah.
That's gonna
you think that's going to flop? Not if they do it right. Dude, after watching some of these Rock movies, like, if it's done right, they can be really, like, entertaining movies.
I mean, yeah, he has an audience.
Doom. Hey, The Rock was in Doom.
Yeah, but you got to do Duke Nukem with a different tone, man. I mean, dude, The Rock was in Jumanji, and Jumanji was, like, really fun, and I enjoyed the hell out of it.
I think you were talking about Trainwreck, Elia.
Oh, yeah, he was. Yeah. Cena was in that one.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right.
Did anybody see Tomb Raider?
No, I don't think anybody's seen that. I was going to see it, but is that your number one movie, Ilya? Were you trying to tease something?
I didn't really rate them 1 to 3 because honestly, for me so far, Black Panther was number one.
Okay.
Well, actually, after Infinity War is now one. Panthers 2. But since we already brought those up, I had a few safety movies that I kept in, and Tomb Raider is one of them.
Did you see Tomb Raider? Wait, did you see Tomb Raider in the theater?
Mm-hmm.
You did. Okay.
And so it's not, the win all, claim all adventure movie, but I gotta say, from what we used to have with the Angelina Jolie, Lara Croft movies, this is a whole different ballgame. It's grittier. It's Alicia Vikander was amazing. I actually read up afterwards that she put on something like 10, 15 pounds so she can do a lot of her own stunts.
Mm-hmm.
And to see some of the stuff she was doing was amazing.
How was Walton Goggins the villain in that? Because I love him.
He wasn't as as evil as he could have been. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay.
He could have had a little bit more of a dastardly dark side, but at the same time, it was still enjoyable. It definitely connected really well to the first video game. The trailer
alone looked pretty badass.
Yeah. No, it was on my list. I just never got around to seeing it when it was in the theater. And I love the game that it's based off of, the 2013 reboot of Tomb Raider. So
I'm gonna just ask you if you played that.
I have, yeah. So I knew you could tell like they're going for that tone, and that game was very cinematic. So it looked like something I would be at least want to check out. Okay, cool. Well, Alberto, you got a number one movie you've seen?
I do, and I just saw it like 2 weeks ago.
Oh shoot, what is it?
A Quiet Place.
Oh yeah, tell us about that without spoiling anything.
No,
I haven't seen it.
Without spoiling anything, I'll tell you, like in the trailer, the premise is, if you make a sound, things may get you. You know what I mean? So, and so you're like, all right, so okay, this has been done before. You know what I mean? It's been done in horror, it's been done in sci-fi, and I can't think of the guy's name, but he's from The Office.
John Krasinski.
John Krasinski.
Yeah.
Like he directed it, and I was like, I mean, I don't get blown away a lot, I mean, just because everyone's like, oh my God, you gotta, but the pacing and the storytelling and the fact that they're really married in real life, him and Emily Blunt, like that comes through on screen.
Nice.
And it's so well done. And then, there's some pretty big, like in even while I was watching, I'm like, all right, someone should have called this out. And I don't want to ruin it, but there was a huge thing that I was like, really? But you live with it because you're like, it's really about story, about the family, It's
yeah.
Yeah, and I know, it's a movie that's supposed to be quiet, hence A Quiet Place. It's supposed to be quiet, but the sound design on that was badass, man.
Oh yeah, well that was one of the things that I was so intrigued with seeing it because I heard the sound / music is incredible because of the lack and the sparseness of what's going on.
Right. And when someone says like it's very muted, but but if you pay attention, man, like they don't miss an inch, they don't miss 1 inch of that frame. And they don't miss 1 frame of audio. Oh my God, they did such a great job.
Yeah, I can't wait to see it. I've got to see it before it leaves theaters, so I've got to get on that ASAP.
You should, dude.
Yeah. All right. Well, hey, and here's the thing. I don't really have like a number one movie either. Like this wasn't head and shoulders above anything else. It's just some of the movies I've seen, and I've only seen about like 5 or 6 movies so far this year. But another one that I really enjoyed was Death Wish, the Eli Roth reboot of Death Wish with Bruce Willis. And I know this is kind of like sacrilege to a lot of people that like love the originals, but I haven't really I've never really seen the originals. So I was kind of coming into this fresh, honestly. And I just thought it was a good movie, and the critics just savaged it, but that was mostly for like political reasons, so I don't really care. And actually, I saw this with Alberto.
Yeah, it was good, man.
Yeah,
they did. I saw the original too. I mean, the original is more like the
original is Bronson, right?
Yeah, and it's more like one of those B movies, like those I'm not gonna say like 70s exploitation movies, but like it had a certain feel to it.
Yeah, well,
like it was very like comedic almost, and which they played off a little.
Yeah, it was over the top.
Yeah, way over.
Top, right. Well, this movie did that too. I mean,
yeah, not as bad though. If you see the originals, they really play up like yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, here like it's one of those movies that you can pretty much probably decide whether you're gonna like it or not before you see the movie. I mean, it's just a well done revenge flick, and I enjoyed it. So, all right, let's move on really quick. I mean, we've already done about half an hour, and I didn't want to do like too super long, but I just wanted to like maybe highlight a few movies that we are looking forward to this year. Just like going down, I don't know. Maybe we can just like quickly just like go down our list and like talk about a few of them.
I got one big one for you. That's for sure. And that's and it's a little closer, so it's gonna be happening probably in the next month. Deadpool 2.
Oh yeah, actually that was number one on my list.
Oh yeah,
Deadpool
I want to
2
see
is
that
the one I'm
too.
looking forward to the most above everything that might be coming out this year.
Yep. X-Force, Cable. I can't wait. I mean, they're obviously going bigger than the first movie, and I don't know if that's going to be a good thing or a bad thing yet, because the first one kind of did thrive on having that like smaller scale.
Yeah, but the way that oh my God, who's playing Cable and was Thanos?
Josh Brolin.
Yeah, the way Brolin played Thanos, I'm so excited to see what he does with Cable.
Yeah, I mean, this is definitely going to be a different take and different character, but yeah, I agree. We will get into this in the second segment, but yeah, we'll talk plenty about Thanos and his portrayal. Anybody excited for? Well, I'm going to bring up The Rock again, but anybody excited for basically Die Hard with The Rock, aka Skyscraper?
Is that the one where he has the bum leg?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, I am so all in on The Rock. Like, I saw that trailer. I'm like, yeah, I want to see that.
I was like, you know what I said?
I don't
to
even
myself?
care.
Well, I said to myself as he started running, I was like, oh, he's never gonna make that.
Yeah. Well, I guess you guys see the movie. It's called a cliffhanger.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Well, let's throw the other one out there that I know that you are gonna lose your tidbits about. Aaron is Solo.
Oh, yeah. That's not even on my list there, buddy, because I'm not seeing that. No, after the I don't want to get into it, but after The Last Jedi, I am done with Star Wars for a while, and I do not need to see a movie about young Han Solo. Like, that movie to me does not need to exist. And that can be a whole conversation, but you know, that is not even on my list, my friend. Let me ask you guys this: were you guys fans of the Predator?
Yeah, I was
Back
just
in the
seeing
day.
that. They got a
That
new
is
Predator coming out.
Yeah, that's coming out in the fall.
The one that was out with the Jew wasn't bad.
Oh, what's his name? Adrian Brody.
Yeah,
Predators. That was pretty good.
yeah, and
Yeah, that wasn't bad.
It's going to be a continuation, I believe.
Yeah, I mean, dude, Predator. Well, the first one's a classic and still holds up to this day. Like, I just watched it over Christmas, and it's still great. Predator 2 is I love Predator 2. It's definitely like corny and cheesy and everything, but I love it for what it is. And yeah, Predators was not bad. It was definitely trying to channel the original, and I felt like it kind of succeeded. But I'm looking forward to this because Shane Black is doing it, and obviously he was in the first one and helped write the first one, so it'll be interesting to see what he does with it, you know, because he has a very intimate knowledge with that franchise. So we will see. What's some other ones you guys are looking forward to?
Well, he mentioned the Equalizer's coming out.
Oh yeah, that is coming out. I forgot that is coming out this year, right?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
June or July, I believe.
What,
Yeah.
What about Ant-Man and Wasp?
I'm looking forward to it. I thought the first one was great. Like, you know, I thought it was good.
I'm a big Paul Rudd fanboy.
I like
Actually,
him.
Was
Yeah.
lucky enough to meet him for like 10 minutes.
Oh, nice.
Because my ex-roommate and him actually are both KU alumni. Little shout out to Rock Chalk Jayhawk.
All right.
And he's one of the most mellowest, coolest comedians / actors or / celebrities I've ever met. Just your typical average, just like let's knock back a beer, have a cool conversation kind of people. So, Ant-Man
Nice.
and Wasp, definitely.
Yeah. Bro, did you saw the first one
Oh, yeah, I did.
and you liked it?
I did like it.
Nice. Interesting. Yeah. I'm always dubious when we talk about Marvel movies. around
man,
here.
just because there's like some, you know, I don't drink the Kool-Aid, man. If the movie sucks, I'm like, that movie was too long, and it sucked.
I obviously don't drink the Kool-Aid either because everyone was on Black Panther's jock and I wasn't all about it.
Yeah, which is good because that means you could think for yourself.
But you also didn't like the Winter Soldier, and I freaking love that movie.
I hated that movie.
Okay, well, we don't have to go into that. I got to ask you guys: did you see the trailer for that Robin Hood movie coming out?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Oh, it looks
Edgerton.
horrible.
Oh, by the way, you just said horrible. I've seen the worst movie ever. I saw it last week. A movie called Bad Samaritan.
Oh, okay. I haven't heard of it.
Trust me, man. Save your movie
Was that in the
pass.
movie? The theaters?
Yeah, it's the guy from Broadchurch, the lead actor from Broadchurch.
okay.
Yeah.
Damn, you're using that movie pass to its fullest
Oh
extent.
yeah.
Wow. I haven't heard of that movie. Yeah, Ilya, you saw the trailer for Robin Hood? Ilya? Oh, did he leave?
He might have exited out.
Hold on.
I heard
40
something. I heard
40.
something go little.
Yeah. Hold on. Let me write this down. The hoe left. Let me see if I can invite him back. Oh, there you go.
Sorry, guys. My bad. I don't know what happened there.
What happened, dude? All right.
Nothing. It just went. My like the whole thing.
Did
reset it?
did Starbucks shut down with their Wi-Fi?
Jeez. Wow.
Did they give you the 10-minute warning? So you gotta get your ass out.
All right, that's staying in. All right, Ilya, I was asking you before you got kicked out. Did you saw the trailer for Robin Hood
I did.
and you liked it? You said.
No, I said I saw it. I didn't say I actually like it.
Oh, okay. It looks horrible.
It basically looks like every other trailer that I've seen where they try and take all the most like climactic scenes because you know it's going to be dog shit and put it together and be like, no.
Oh,
Look, it's so climactic. There's
Yeah.
and they on top of it, then they revealed the whole thing of who Robin Hood actually is in the trailer, which I was like, why would you make it out to seem like Robin Hood's the bad guy and then totally spoil it in the trailer? Like, I don't care if you spoil it 15 minutes into the movie.
yeah.
Give the viewer that. Don't fucking just kill it right in the trailer. So
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's so funny because ever since 300, you've seen these movies kind of in that style somewhat, and no movie has done it like 300 did and captured that zeitgeist like 300 did. But this movie looks like it's trying to do that, just like King Arthur did, the one directed by Guy Ritchie, and that was horrible too. Oh, so this looks as bad as King Arthur was. So I am staying away from that one because let's be honest, you're never getting better than Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves.
Oh yeah, that's
All
that the
right.
one with Christian. That's Christian Slater, right?
Hell yeah,
Kevin
Kevin Costner, baby.
and that bad Bryan Adams song.
Oh yep. But really, it's all about the sheriff in that one.
Oh yeah,
Alan friggin' Rickman.
yeah.
man.
Isn't that Die Hard?
Alan Rickman, baby, his
Yeah.
best role. Like I think he's better as a sheriff than he was in Die Hard. So
Now,
That's
here
just me.
comes a $1 million question for you, Aaron, and actually for you, Alberto, too, because I'm sure you, Alberto, are familiar with the Spider-Man character and then his antithesis of a hero of Venom. And we just got the Tom Hardy Venom trailer, and I'm kind of mixed on the fence about that one. How do you guys feel?
hold on. How much do you want to bet Alberto hasn't seen that trailer?
I haven't.
I
Well,
knew
then
it.
while you tell me about it, let Alberto watch the trailer.
Well, okay. Well, I'll just say, I mean, I like Venom in the context of Spider-Man, and knowing that Spider-Man's not in this movie, I don't know. Like, since I have Movie Pass, I'll probably see it. Like, the trailer wasn't horrible. I did kind of feel like Venom doesn't really translate visually to live action that well. He looked a little. I mean, he looked a little goofy. Like, he was comics accurate, pretty much, and that's kind of goofy live action, in my opinion. So, I mean, you gotta, when you have an actor like Tom Hardy who's taking over a character like that, like, it intrigues me enough to go see it, but I don't really have. I'm not super optimistic for that movie being that good.
Kind of where I'm with you. I'm on the same kind of fence with you. Like,
Yeah.
it's a great idea conceptually, but I don't think we're quite there yet to pull it off visually.
Yeah. What do you guys think of? Let's go through a few of these really fast. Anybody interested in the new Jurassic World?
Yes.
Nope.
Yeah, me neither. I'm with Alberto after seeing the first one. I'm just like, yeah, I don't need to see any more Jurassic Park movies. I really should have thought that after just seeing the original, but I keep seeing these sequels, and I'm just like, yeah, it's not, it doesn't recapture the magic for me. But you're into it, Ilya?
Yeah, I didn't mind the first one. Chris Pratt, you know.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. It's just like I don't know. It's like it just doesn't move me like the first one did.
It doesn't give me enough reason not to go see it, but it's definitely not one of those movies where I'll be losing my tidbits to go see it. Like I'll go see it maybe 3-4 weeks into what's into it starting to be out in theaters. So
how about Mission Impossible? You guys into that
I
at
do
all?
want to see that.
no,
I do.
no.
Oh, you don't like Mission Impossible, Ilya?
Oh yeah.
I've seen too many, and I can't deal with Tom Cruise anymore. Tom Cruise just irritates me.
Wow. Hater. No,
Yeah,
I'm
I mean
kidding.
he's not a bad actor.
I'm kidding.
Take a Scientology and shove it.
Yeah. Well, I try to okay. Let me just say this about actors in general. I really I try to separate them as people with
look
what
at
they do on
Travolta.
screen. Oh yeah. Well, pretty much any actor. Like I try not to let anything influence me from who they are as people, because it's about their performance on screen, or it should be, anyways. How about well, go ahead, Albert. Are you gonna say something?
The trailer looks freaking horrible.
For Mission
Venom,
Impossible?
for Venom.
Oh, okay. You saw it just now?
I just was watching it.
Okay.
I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Anybody like the Halloween franchise?
the original?
Well, I'm talking like just the movies in general, like the franchise. Like there's a new Halloween coming out that's actually scored by John Carpenter, and he's executive producing it. I mean, they always try to hype up some connection to John Carpenter with every new Halloween, it seems like, but
Right.
As long as they're not doing the whole space thing or pitting him against another nightmare's creature like Freddy Krueger or whatnot, then yeah.
Here's the gist of this one. It's however many years since the original, and they basically are only referencing the first movie. There's like none of the sequels are in continuity with this movie. So it's Laurie Strode as, a 50-something-year-old woman, and somehow Michael comes back and I assume tries to kill her. So I don't know. I'm kind of a sucker for Halloween movies. I mean, the original Halloween.
Jamie Lee in it?
Jamie Lee is in it, yeah.
I might go see it.
I mean, Halloween's my favorite horror movie of all time, so I'm probably gonna see this just based on kind of I know it is kind of hype, but some of it does get me kind of interested. I guess just to hear the John Carpenter score, I'm kind of interested. So
speaking of John Carpenter, we were just talking about The Thing at work. That movie that's a great movie.
Oh, it's a great movie. It still holds up too, man.
Yeah.
The effects in that movie. I mean, you could, obviously they're like a little dated, but just the fact that like they're not using CG, like it still kind of holds up.
Yeah, the storytelling.
Yeah. All right, last movie that I wanted to bring up, and I doubt Alberto cares, but Ilya, are you at all excited for Aquaman?
Yes, 70% interested, 75% interested. I kind of enjoyed his performance in Justice League, but at the same time, as like a original fanboy and whatnot, I'm curious what they're gonna do. So I will see this movie, and I will leave my judgment until after I see it.
Who's the one telling me about talking underwater? How's he going to talk above water? Because I didn't see the movie.
I don't know. Well, I think they do it like they create like air bubbles or something. Isn't that what it is?
Yeah, I'm sure they'll do it like they did with a lot of the animations, where there'll be like a sound projection or like a sound wave coming at him, and then maybe they'll dub him in the background, but being like, "Yes, my aquatic friend," blah 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 blah, and then you'll get like a little kiki 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 kiki, and then the fish will do whatever the fuck.
Oh, okay. Well,
I don't know how they're gonna do it.
All right, yeah, we'll find out. Here's what I'm gonna say about it. I like the look of Jason Momoa as Aquaman. I think he looks cool as Aquaman. I think he's a little limited as an actor, but the reason that I'm really excited for this movie is that James Wan is directing it, and to me, that guy just cannot do any wrong.
Is that the Fast and the Furious?
The Conjuring.
The Conjuring, that's right.
Yeah, I think he's one of my favorite directors, and I think he's really like putting a lot of effort into this movie. So, yeah, I'm pretty stoked about it.
That movie's amazing. The Conjuring is amazing.
Oh, yeah. And on that note, on amazement, I think we're gonna. Was there any other movies you guys were excited for that you want to go through really quick?
We don't have a Justice League at the end of the year, do we? Or do we?
No,
Then,
no, it's gonna be Aquaman. I think that's the only DC movie coming out.
All right, then nope.
Yep. You got anything else, Alberto?
Nope.
All right, man. Well, I'm gonna kick your ass off then. It's time to talk about Avengers. You gotta go
All right,
see
bro.
that.
All right. I'm going to check out my Born in East LA DVD. All right, brother. Take it easy.
All right, man. Hey, thanks for coming on, dude. And we'll try to get you on a special segment again, just tailored to you.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
Cinco de Mayo.
Cinco de Mayo. That's too late.
I know.
We call it tacos in LA.
All right, man. Have a good
We'll
one.
have our Cinco de Mayhem segment whenever that is.
Yeah, let's get drunk.
Yeah, next time. I actually missed the cue at the beginning, but yeah, I always ask what everyone's drinking, and hey, why not do it at the start of the second segment? Ilya?
I've got a couple cans of Stella Artois and a lovely bottle of Woodford Reserve that I actually will just pour myself a glass of right now, finally, kind of to celebrate the second coming of, or the second segment.
Yes. All right, cool. Well, yeah, I know me and Alberto are both off the booze for a little while, trying to lose a few lbs. So, yeah, we're being boring. All right, Alberto, later, brother.
Later, man. Have a good one.
All right.
All right. Bye.
All right. Well, that the first segment was kind of a appetizer because we talked about a lot of movies, and for me, and I want to see if Ilya agrees with me on this, to me, I think we saw the best movie of the year in Avengers Infinity War. That's my opinion. What do you think of that?
Yes. So far.
I don't think anything else is even going to come close to the magnificence of that movie. I can't, like, that was the best Marvel movie hands down.
Well, it's also, we've been waiting for this to kind of all culminate for 10 years. So it's
Of
not
course.
because of how grandiose, the production was and how great the acting was, but it's also something that we've invested a decade of our time in. So to see it pay off that well, yes, it felt very what's the word?
Fulfilling. Yeah, it paid off. Like it was the payoff of 10 years of movies. And like obviously those movies that have built to this movie have been great in their own right. Like there's not been one Marvel movie that I haven't enjoyed on some level. Even Iron Man 2, 3, and The Incredible Hulk. Like I found things I did like about those movies even. Mostly Robert Downey Jr. in the Iron Man movies. But I even like The Incredible Hulk. Like I wish I'm glad they actually had Thunderbolt Ross in this movie because that's like the one thing they took from that one Hulk movie that's officially like technically in the MCU is Thunderbolt Ross. So at least they have something. But yeah, man, this movie was the culmination. Like it was the climax of 10 years of filmmaking, and
it's never been done before. Like I was trying to think about this in my head. At no point do I remember a franchise, maybe Lord of the Rings, but that was only 3 films.
That was only 3 films. And
this
yeah.
has been over what, 14 films or 13 films?
I think so. I think it's 14. Yeah, 14 I believe it was 14 movies, all building to this.
And
yeah.
Done. And well, at least no, I think ever it's never been done. So that's another great thing is to see this kind of happen, and be a part of this and be able to, 20, 30 years down the line, maybe tell other people about this. Be like, this was so freaking cool. growing up as a kid that, read these comic books and watched these animated TV shows, and always wondered, because we got the shitty versions of these, certain heroes because they were easy to do, like Batman, even Superman back in the day, and Reeves is my boy, and Superman 1 will always be a great movie. But even they were a little bogus, and we wanted something more. And with this, we finally got our childhood dreams come true.
Well, what we got was a new type of storytelling, which was this interconnected universe of films that started something. Like, they started something with Iron Man, and it's kind of passé now to say like shared universe in movies, because you see it you see it all over the place. Like, DC is trying to do their shared universe, and even Universal with their monster verse, and legendary with Godzilla and King Kong. I mean, they're all trying to do like the shared universe, and that's all because of Marvel. Like, Marvel pioneered this new type of storytelling, and the success that they've had has been incredible. And to see this exclamation point on this entire phase of filmmaking has just been like, I still like, I take a step back and just like kind of look at it in awe, because it really is amazing to see what Kevin Feige did for this universe, like for this universe of films. Like, it's incredible. So let's get into the movie. Obviously, there's going to be heavy spoilers on this section. So if you haven't seen the movie, see it and then come back. All right. One thing that I was amazed by with this movie was the fact that there was no character development in this movie besides the villain of the movie. That was the only character that, in my mind, got actual character development. Do you agree?
Well, that and Gamora, in a sense.
Gamora, yeah.
We really did get a sense of Gamora, and how she became Thanos' adopted daughter, and you got to see her interact with Nebula and realize that they do really have this very difficult but sisterly relationship, and they would, at the end of the day, do whatever you can for each other. So I think it was the Thanos family that really was focused on.
Right, but even Gamora and Nebula's character development was just fed into making us care about Thanos, like, ultimately.
Right, it was all intertwined. I agree with you completely.
Yeah. I just thought it was incredible that there was no, like, these heroes have already been established. All the characters in the movie besides Thanos have already been established. There's no backstory. Like they're just there, and you kind of do have to have seen the other movies for it to impact you, I think, the way that it impacted most people. And obviously it's a testament to the audience that, they've been so popular and everyone's seen the movies. But this is like just one of those, like, this is not a standalone movie, but you see it, and it was like the payoff was just incredible. Like, let's talk about some of the. Let me ask you this, Ilya, because there were so many great sequences and so many like great set pieces in the movie. What was your favorite?
Oh man,
it's tough, right?
It is. I mean, definitely once we got to Wakanda and we saw the gathering of the forces.
Yeah.
And so maybe that third arc and that, the payoff that you get in that third arc. But honestly, there was so much to decipher. I mean, anything from Stormbreaker being built to the funny moments with the Hulk. And I think me and you talked about it the other day, how I loved how the Hulk would just pop out and be like, nope, not coming out. Fuck this shit. I'm over it.
Yeah. See, actually, to me, that was, I don't know why, that kind of just came off as like a little bit, that was one of the weaker moments to me. I mean, I guess they were kind of subverting our expectations, right? Because we're all expecting to see the Hulk pop out and save the day. but they definitely subverted those expectations right from the start.
Well, and it sets up for the next for the new. Well, I think they have to systematically break down the big guns because first they break down Hulk, then Thor goes through all this stuff and gets Stormbreaker and blah blah blah, and then tries, and the next big gun goes down. And if you stay to the end of the movie and you see it, they call in Captain Marvel, and now this is the biggest gun of all guns, and she's been described as the most strongest, most powerful hero in the MCU. So I kind of understand why they wanted to keep Hulk on the back burner. And they're also trying to tell, 3 stories, which made Bruce Banner a lot more pertinent in as a character in this movie, which is also another thing that I loved.
Well, I'll say this. I thought it was great how the 2 most powerful characters that we've seen thus far, the 2 most powerful heroes, the Hulk and Thor, are basically just dismantled right from the start. And it makes you as a viewer just go, okay, this guy Thanos is the biggest threat they've ever faced, like hands down. And obviously, like the Infinity Gauntlet, and knowing that he's collecting the gems is going to make him more powerful. But when he takes down the Hulk, basically just one-on-one, you just know, like, just as physically as a being, he's probably the most powerful villain they've faced. I mean, no one's taken down the Hulk just straight up like that.
Oh yeah, no, it was a like backyard barn beatdown. It was amazing, and it was actually one of the best things I've seen as a way to open up the movie. Is we had that great moment with Loki, and with Thor, and he's trying to convince Thanos that this is. Don't worry, I'm on your side. And he goes, but we'll stop you. We have a Thor. We have a Hulk.
We have a Hulk, yeah.
And this is the thing for Avengers Ultron, for Avengers the original. And Hulk was always the guy, and then to see his ass whooped.
Yeah.
Then to see Thor crumbled there. It's an amazing way to open up the movie, I thought.
Yeah, and I guess just talking about the Hulk not coming out for the rest of the movie. I guess maybe they're wanting to save that payoff for the next movie, Avengers 4. I guess you could surmise that.
We also got a great thing with the Hulkbuster, and I think more people also wanted to see the Hulkbuster in action.
Really?
Yeah. Way to weave in. I honestly love the Hulkbuster.
Yeah.
I enjoyed watching it smash. So
yeah.
It's a machine. It's a mechanical Hulk.
Yeah, it's a cool armor. I mean, yeah. And if you're gonna have someone in there, and it's you got to have Bruce Banner or the Hulk, and if the Hulk's not going to come out, let's have Bruce Banner in there. So like it was fine when they put him in the Hulkbuster armor. Like that was cool. Like I thought it was fun. I just felt like I kind of felt like honestly Bruce was one of the weaker characters in that movie. In my opinion, in all the greatness of the film, like I kind of felt like Bruce was somewhat of a weak spot. Like you don't really know why the Hulk never comes out. Like that's never really explained. He just not coming out, and I don't know if that was supposed to be like played for a laugh or what, or if they're just trying to establish that he's not going to come out until maybe the last movie.
Yeah, I think when he will resurface, it's probably going to be in the next movie, and I do think it was done for some comedic effect, definitely.
Yeah.
The other big thing that I loved, and I know this is.
Hold on. Let's keep talking about the set pieces really quick, because I wanted to just say, because we're talking about like favorite set pieces or favorite moment. You said Wakanda. Keep whatever you're going to say in your mind, but the one that sticks out to me that I really enjoyed was the scene with Ebony Maw and Doc Strange, Iron Man, and Peter coming over from the bus, and Doc Strange and Ebony Maw just facing off like with their magic. Like I thought that was way cool.
Yes, that was as well
on the New York City street. Like, and that just from the start, it was like, wow, this is just like the intro fight, and this is like just cool as hell. So that was one that stuck out to me. I mean, my favorite moment though, just in general, the coolest moment to me was the train scene with Cap saving the Vision and Scarlet Witch.
Right.
That was the freaking coolest freaking moment, man. Having that train pass and like the camera zooming in and you just see the silhouette. It's like, hell yeah, son. Cap is back. All right, what were you gonna say?
I was just gonna, and it's another moment, and I believe they did it twice. And correct me if I'm wrong. I know Gamora did it for sure, but it was a payoff to that 1 or 2 page of panels in the original Infinity Gauntlet, where Thanos actually does snap his fingers, and half of everything is gone. So I enjoyed the fact that you did have that set piece with Gamora explaining that Thanos, once he gets all the stones, can just do this. But I believe that Thanos actually does this towards the end, where Doc Strange and Tony are trying to fight him and actually kind of beat him on Titan, and he actually goes, and I can just make everybody disappear with a snap, and does it. And I honestly, as a fanboy, that to me was something that you sat there and you kind of just smiled a little bit more, a little bit harder. So that was another great set piece, I thought.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, the thing about it is, there wasn't a whole lot of like real connective tissue in it. It really went from like big set piece to big set piece, but I don't know. It just felt the flow of the movie was very natural. I'm not saying there was no connective tissue. There was connective tissue. It just felt like we were going from like huge moment to huge moment to huge moment, but it all worked. It wasn't like, it didn't feel disjointed to me. Like it just worked. And it was so, I know I keep saying the word awesome, but like, it was just so awesome to see moving from this one group of heroes to another group of heroes, and what they're up to, like, was just crazy awesome. So I never was like taken out of the movie or just felt like, oh man, this is too much being thrown in my face. I was just enjoying the ride. But speaking of like the heroes being thrown into, like the different heroes being thrown into different situations, we obviously saw a lot of that with some unlikely pairings in this movie. And I was going to ask you, like, what was your favorite like odd couple of the movie?
Favorite odd couple? All right, well, let me see. Because I know there was definitely a couple that was just like, that's really funny to see.
I'll tell you mine. Hands down, Doc Strange and Tony.
Oh, the Goatee brothers? Come on.
Oh yeah, dude, it was great because they haven't met each other yet in the universe, and they're both assholes and they're both cocky, and they just really like, play off each other well. I mean, they create a lot of friction between each other, and it's like it's just fun to see the banter between them.
I mean, and this is not a irregular setup, but I always loved watching Panther and Shuri talk. Just, I don't know, they have a very good comedic kind of timing. So anytime him and Shuri are talking, she gives him a little, younger sister wisecrack or anything like that. And yes, I thought that was also great.
It still annoys me that she's like the smart, like she's putting like Bruce Banner in his place, like intellectually. It's like, dude, you're like 15. Like, come on. I don't know. I never bought that like she's like that smart. I don't know.
Well, she makes everything in Wakanda work, so there's a certain precedent to that is her intellectual level. It's
funny though. I really I'm kind of a hypocrite because I love Amadeus Cho, and he's definitely in his teens, and but to be fair, he's like, I think the 7th smartest person in the Marvel universe in the comics. So
Panthers in the Illuminati. So I think that's maybe what they're trying to do with Shuri, is kind of make Shuri be the kind of brain. I don't know.
Yeah.
We don't have a Franklin Richard. We don't have a lot of these other characters.
Right. Yeah, I know. I know, it's different. It just didn't feel earned, I guess, that she was that smart. Just like, by the way, I did want to say about Captain Marvel. The problem I have with her like showing up, well, she didn't show up, but that reference to her in the end credits, what annoys me about that is we haven't seen her in a movie. We haven't seen her solo movie yet. And I just feel like that moment wasn't earned. Like, you you haven't been established as you being this awesome character yet, so why should I care that you're supposedly this super powerful being?
Yeah,
Like,
they did the same thing to Captain America. Don't forget.
no, they had a friggin' movie with showing how he went from a 98-pound weakling to the super soldier.
No. Iron Man ended on a post-credit scene where they found Cap in the ice.
Yeah.
Without him having his first movie.
Well, here's the difference. Here's the difference, and this may piss some people off, but the difference is, like, Captain Marvel in the comics is not that cool. Captain America in the comics is fucking cool. Like, come on, dude. Tell me your favorite Captain Marvel run. Be honest.
It has to be a Danvers run because I don't think I've read anything before aside from the new Danvers stuff.
Well, that's what I'm talking. I'm talking about Carol Danvers as a character, because like I read the Brian Reed Mrs. Marvel series from like around the Civil War era. What?
Read, Marvel. I've never read Marvel.
No. I'm talking Carol Danvers, Captain Marvel, or Mrs. Marvel, whatever that character, Carol Danvers. Like, tell me your favorite Carol Danvers run.
The only runs I've read are probably the newest ones, which is Secret Wars and so none.
Yeah, so yeah, exactly. She doesn't have any great runs in the comics, and Cap does. So like that's why people like me were into seeing Cap come back. But like Carol Danvers, I'm like, I don't care. Like I don't care about that character. You haven't made me care about that character. And I know a lot of people will probably be like, well, I love the Kelly Sue DeConnick run, and she's a great character, blah blah blah. But I don't know. To me, here's the thing: And her solo movie is going to come out before Avengers 4, right?
Yes, it is.
Okay. If that movie nails it and makes me care about the character, then I will be into it in Avengers 4, but it's got to prove that. And
well, I'm sure they wouldn't have done it if they aren't sure that she could be able to carry it.
Well, obviously, yeah, they obviously have some big plans. And I will say one thing. If what I've heard is correct about that movie, and they're doing the Kree-Shi'ar War, it's gonna be something that probably will get me invested in that character.
Yeah, so apparently from what I've heard is the Captain Marvel movie should give a definite explanation not only how she got her powers, which do come from the Kree, supposed to explain where she has been throughout the 10 years of all these movies, why she has not been brought up or mentioned.
Yeah.
And it's apparently a big secret that, what's-his-face was keeping.
Nick Fury.
Yes. Thank
you. Okay. Yeah. You know, like hearing that type of stuff, like, yes. But just understand, up to this point, that moment has not been earned. So I am willing to go on the ride they're going to take us on, but to me, at this point, I don't care about that character. So, Kevin Feige, prove me wrong. Show me what I'm missing. All right. Let's go through some more stuff. Well, we talked about some of the good. Let's talk about in my mind, the best part of the movie, which was Thanos. And the greatness of that performance that Josh Brolin pulled off. Were you surprised that they were able to do that like level of emotion and nuance with a CG character?
No, but what did surprise me was the fact that they didn't turn him into Thanos the Tyrant, like a full-on blown malevolent character.
Mm-hmm.
They did give him all these amazing layers. Like he's not just a sociopath trying to destroy the world. He's a man who has lost, who has seen something unfold before his own eyes that he has tried to stop, which was, the growth of his population on his planet on Titan.
Mm-hmm.
He saw that the bigger the population got, the less people had to survive. And the only way he could rationally, logically come up with a solution, and this is based on, just science and natural selection and yada, 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 which is what I'm assuming, that you had to get rid of half of the population. And not like, because they're green-eyed or blue-eyed or, based on their traits or anything like that, but just a lottery that everybody, every man, woman, child, rich, poor, whatever, would just, have a chance of either surviving or not. And he was really tormented about that in a sense, but realized that, he needed this to happen to save the galaxy. And
Yeah.
on top of it, all that stuff with Gamora, that also was phenomenal.
Yeah. Well, it goes back to that the best villain, that saying that the best villains are heroes in their mind, because when they're on when they're on a mission in their mind, they are the good guys. Even as an audience member, you may know why they're wrong, but you empathize with them regardless. And you can see that in villains like Magneto and Doctor Doom. Even like Darth Vader. I mean, like just switching franchises a little bit, but they're in their mind, like they're doing what is for the greater good or whatever. So, in my mind, Thanos just joins the pantheon of like great movie villains now. And mostly because like in his mind, he's doing what he thinks is right. And he's actually trying to save the galaxy. But yeah, man, I was just amazed by like Brolin's performance.
Brolin was
His facial expressions were just the best part of that character to me. Like you could just see the emotion and the nuance within it, and it was, I don't know, man. In my mind, like I just haven't seen like that level of I guess like. I haven't seen that level of nuance since like maybe like Golem in Lord of the Rings in a CG character.
Well, it's so great. It shows you this awesome, excuse me, progression of mocap.
Yeah.
How it transitioned. And these days, I swear to God, I feel like we can basically do anything in mocap.
Yeah, and I just remembered too, Planet of the Apes. Like, Did you see the last Planet of the Apes movie?
I just recently watched it. It just came out on HBO. For Planet of the Apes.
Oh, it's so good.
It was actually, as a man that bitches about those Planet of the Apes movies, it wasn't that bad.
Dude, I love that movie. Yeah, but yeah, anyways, that was just another. That was just the most recent example of what you can do with CG. And man, I just feel like I don't know, like seeing the depiction of Thanos in this movie made me just think like, how many kids are going to see this movie and he is going to be their generation's Darth Vader? Like, yeah. Did you see that at all? Like, did you think about that? Like to a lot of like, I think a lot of kids, like these movies are the new Star Wars. Like it's their generation Star Wars.
If not more so, because Star Wars, to us was a finite, amount of characters, a finite amount of story. This stuff's going to be even bigger because of the fact that the library for both not only Marvel or DC is so vast that there's going to be an exponentially more things for them to see. And yes, it will be their Star Wars, but I think it will be infinitely more than just their generation Star Wars.
Yeah, well, there's also a danger because, with Star Wars, it was obviously more limited, but you also were able to keep the original actors and tell a more you were able to tell a more like limited story maybe, but you were able to tell it within a universe that had so much possibility. And obviously that's kind of the same in the Marvel universe, and we've seen all these stories that can be adapted on film from the comics. So like the possibilities are definitely there. Although the danger is, I think, with the Marvel movies is when some of these actors start to go away. Like what happens when RDJ is no longer Tony Stark? Like what do you do with that? How do you deal with that?
That's definitely been a question I've been asking myself for a long time. I mean, some of these guys, like you said, have become iconic in these roles, and it's very hard to replace them.
Yeah, like who's going to be the new Captain America? If it's not Chris Evans. Like,
well, here's the thing with the new batch of that's the thing about actors is it's not like actors just stop, coming of age and stop growing. We're going to have a bunch of new kids here in about 5-10 years come in, and who knows?
Yeah.
And there are other stories still to tell in the meantime. They're great other stories, and plus you're getting things like the X-Men that has now been brought into the fold. We finally got X-Men or
Well,
Spider-Man's way.
that's not confirmed, man. Well, Spider-Man, yes, but X-Men, that is not confirmed. I don't know if you saw this, but I think I was looking at a story yesterday where apparently Comcast just put in a bid to buy the Fox properties.
Oh,
So, yeah, it's not a done deal, man. Like I know it's kind of looking like it might be, but it's
Right.
definitely not a done deal yet.
well, okay, but there's still plenty of other heroes. Like it's not like Marvel or DC are limited to the pantheon of the Big Ten or whatever you want to call them. There's definitely a lot of stuff that is there to still tell.
Yeah, I agree. All right. Well, obviously, I think people are going to see this movie and they're gonna judge it and they're gonna love what they loved in it. Let me ask you this to kind of like wrap things up a little bit. Obviously, this movie ended on a huge cliffhanger and half the population was wiped out. And my God, it was incredible to see them just go for it and it to not be reversed. But half the people on Earth died, and that included a lot of heroes we know and love. Not the Trinity, but Black Panther, Bucky, Scarlet Witch, um, Groot. I mean, what was the biggest death? What was the biggest death to you? Like, what was the
I thought
what death hit you the hardest?
Panther was the biggest death to me because
Okay.
out of all of those characters, I was assuming that it would be Tony, Strange, Cap, and Panther coming together, the four of them, in a pseudo-esque kind of Illuminati situation and figuring out how to deal with this because in my mind, I thought, when Strange gave away the time stone and said this is the way it had to be, is because he foresaw a way for them to reverse everything that is going to happen. He saw a million some outcomes and only one guaranteed victory. And
Yeah.
I think that would include a complete victory in the sense that you will not really get rid of all the characters. I think Gamora is going to stay dead.
Yeah, I think so too.
Loki's going to stay dead.
Yeah.
But as for everybody that
Died at the end.
dephased or whatever the fuck that shit was,
Yeah.
crumbled like a ended
Yep.
up like a cheese. They're all coming back, and
Yeah.
You can't get rid of characters who you just brought in, a movie or two movies ago, and then all of a sudden
Right.
you're like, oh, we're done.
Well, and I mean, it's kind of obvious just because we know that Kevin Feige has said there'll definitely be another Black Panther movie, and well, just for that reason, and also Spider-Man. Spider-Man went too, and that was probably my out of those deaths, like that was probably the most emotional death for me. It was seeing Spider-Man, hugging Tony at the end as he like crumbles away to dust.
Oh, he sold it perfectly. It was
Oh yeah, it was it was great, and also the group moment was kind of heartbreaking too. Rocket just watching Groot fade away.
I honestly, Tom Holland is the Spider-Man I think we've been asking for since that first Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. Honestly, like the more I see this kid do this role,
Yeah.
I'm like this is it. This is the guy.
Well, this is like pure what Peter should always start as. Like
Right.
he needs to at least start his adventures like as a teenager and be a hero as a teenager for a while. And obviously, like in the comics, he's more grown up and everything. But I think like the essence of that character is and will always be that he started his career as a teenager, his superhero career. So yeah, this is a very to me like Tom Holland's portrayal is pretty perfect.
And it also actually remember how we were talking about who takes over, for RDJ when there's no more Spider-Man. Iron Man. I can easily see 10 years down the line, Tom Holland's Peter Parker becoming Parker Industries, and that becoming the new tech, mechanical, blah 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 kind of figurehead of the Avengers in the MCU. So there's definitely a progression there, I think, that's coming.
Yeah. Well, it'll be interesting. I mean, there's a lot we can hypothesize to know where they'll be going in the future, because you know that Marvel Studios and Kevin Feige have a plan for the future, undoubtedly. They've shown that they've had a pretty grand plan up till now. So I think we can hope that they have some things in mind that hopefully will, please the fan base. And, I'd have to say right now, I would assume it will, and it will be satisfying whichever way they go. But for now, I just have to bask in the greatness of like where we're at. And I just want to see this movie again. Like to me, it's just, it is one of the most satisfying. It really was one of the most satisfying like movie experiences I've ever had. Just for like the perfection it was, but just having it being built over so many years in so many other movies, and to just encapsulate everything in this culmination, huge exclamation point of just an amazing film. The Russo brothers, anyone that's seen the movie just knows how well it was directed, how well the performances they got out of the actors, and how they handled those huge set pieces. Like, I don't know, man. I'm just in awe of what this movie did.
I fully agree with you. It's amazing, not only visually, the acting was phenomenal. The fan service is just up to par with anything else. I mean,
yeah,
it literally was not only a pleasure to watch, but it was also a pleasure to see that they didn't just turn this into a cash cow, which they could have easily done. Bring all these people online, give them a whack-ass beeline story, have them kill the bad guy, blah, 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 you'll make your $100 million.
Yeah.
The amount of effort that they really made, it as a fan, makes me not only pleased, but I'm looking forward to everything moving forward into stage 3, stage 4?
Whatever it is. But yeah. To me, it's like everything after this is going to be like stage 2 or phase 2, because I feel like everything just built up to this movie, and it's going to be pre-Infinity War and post-Infinity War.
Right.
Yeah, but I agree, man. Like the fact that they ended on a cliffhanger where the villain won, like legitimately won, and they had the balls to do that, and it did not wrap up in a nice bow for the heroes, was like just a gutsy move. But as a audience member, like it invested me like that much more into seeing what's to come. So I mean, this is just them, like, to me, like pioneering this new type of storytelling, this like connected long form storytelling that we're seeing in movies.
Right. Well, it's taking an 8 episodic base from like a really good TV show, and instead of getting 60-minute episodes, we're getting 2.5-hour movies, and
yeah,
it's great, because sometimes I feel like you do need that much time to tell a story like this that's so intricate and has so many characters. Like we had 64, 65 unique Marvel characters on screen.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty incredible. Like, yeah, and you did need 14 movies to establish all these characters up till now, which is why I'm so glad they just made that decision to really not have any more character development on the heroes besides them just reacting to Thanos, and it just being about like developing Thanos as a character, and engaging the plot that way. So yeah. I loved it. I don't foresee any other movie surpassing this year, and who knows, man? I don't know if anything will surpass it until Avengers 4.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely agree with you, because I know DC still has a long way to go before they can even step up to the plate with these guys, which has also been kind of an interesting thing to watch, to see how you do have these two comic book entities, and Marvel's just been trouncing DC.
Yeah, and I'll go on record. I mean, I've said it on other shows and everything, but I have largely enjoyed what DC's done, and I liked that they were trying to do something different. I kind of feel like they've kind of thrown that away, and they've basically just been trying to be more like Marvel now. which I felt like they should have just tried to keep a different tone. But regardless, it just kind of proves that, like, Marvel has done it right, and people are just trying to are basically like copy their success at this point. So, kudos.
Big to Feige. Feige's a big thing.
Oh, he's basically the reason. Like, he's the reason that for this success. And to have like one kind of, I know it's a lot of people, but it's him spearheading this initiative, and really all the credit goes to him. So yeah, kudos to him. Kudos to Marvel Studios for 10 years of great movies, and what an amazing accomplishment that was. And on that note, I think we'll wrap it up, because we talked it up for about an hour and a half. You got anything else to say, Mr. Tabarowski?
All I gotta say is, and here, let me jump back onto my lovely little camera here so I can sign off properly.
Going back to the pretty face, huh? There we go.
Yeah. Well, I got these new teeth in for a reason, so they're fairly wise. It's so pretty. No, I just wanted to say thank you so much for having me on the podcast. It was always a pleasure. Great talking to you and Alberto, and I will see you guys next time on the podcast. So
yeah,
be well, live long and prosper, and all that other happy nerdy stuff.
Oh yes. Well, we'll have you on. We'll have you on sometime soon. The Pixels and Panels podcast will be going back to a somewhat normal format in the future. I want to get back to kind of covering some news and talking video games and comics, but I just felt like this episode was a good one to just talk movies and obviously talk the biggest movie of the year. Mission accomplished. And everybody, thanks for being with us. If you want more of the show, check us out at pixelsandpanelspodcast.com. You can email us there, send in any topics you want us to talk about, and we may or may not do that, but you can email us there. You can check us out on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, all that stuff. So thanks for being with us, and we'll see you next time.